So, I thought this was a good one because we have a lot of people on our podcast and true crime talk show that believe Brian Kohberger is guilty and that it's really unlikely that the police could do anything shady, things like that, right? And again, we want to give evidence to both sides of the coin. An honest side, like our justice system is always doing things exactly how they should, and then the other side where our justice system, we can show proof, doesn't always do exactly what they should, and those things need to be called out. So, Baltimore has agreed to pay $48 million, $48 million, to 3 men who were wrongly convicted of murder as teenagers. And these 3 guys spent 36 years in prison.
Whoa.
They went in as teens and are coming out grandparent aged. Yeah. Wrongful conviction. And not only that, this is why it's important, because I do think that our justice system, that our police get it wrong sometimes. Honest wrong, right? Where they believe it's this person and evidence and coincidences point to this person. Well, there was a whole bunch of evidence proving these guys didn't do it. An eyewitness statement saying that they saw the person who did do it. There was multiple pieces of evidence where there was a guy wearing a jacket of the victim after this situation had happened. That jacket could have only be gotten from the victim in this case. And police hid these things. The prosecution and state hid it so that they could make sure and get their conviction of these 3 guys. So, 3 innocent men got put away for decades.
3 innocent kids.
Because they wanted the conviction. So, I hope these guys get to live their best life now. Good. I'm glad they each get $13 million. Or, no, 48. So, what, 36? So more than that. They're each going to get 16 million. 16 is what it is. They each get $16 million. But they also gave up 36 years they will never get back.
Yeah, they don't even have to work. Like, they can literally just go live on a beach somewhere.
Take care of their family, take care of friends, do whatever they want, and it's deserved.
Yeah.
I don't think they should ever have to work again if they don't want.
No.
Unless they want to go buy a business and work in that or something. The state did them wrong. And everybody in this situation, I hope none of them still work in the justice system, because anybody that knew about this additional evidence and hid it needs to be held accountable. This stuff is not okay.
Well, this is why we want defense lawyers digging into cases, and we shouldn't be shaming them on national television, Nancy Grace, about them doing their job. Because
I agree.
If you had someone like Baldwin or Rosie or Ann Taylor on the case, they would have unearthed that. They would have eventually.
Yep. Absolutely. This is why we have things like the Innocence Project are for situations like this. And it even says here in a quote, Baltimore City State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby at the time said there was, in quotes, intentional concealment and misrepresentation of the exculpatory evidence that would have showed that it was someone else other than these defendants. She apologized to the men when they were released and vowed to work for reforms for people wrongly convicted. Crazy. So, when looking at every case, look, I'm pro law enforcement. I love our law enforcement. I love our justice system. I love our country. I love our politicians when they're working like they should. Now, I feel like we have, for whatever reason, created situations where you have honest ones and you have dirty ones. And a lot of times I feel like the honest ones will stick up for the dirty ones just because they're a part of this one system. but then they're doing things honest, everything they touch, you know what I mean? And I don't think that's okay either. We need to get rid of these problems. It is a disease when you have a system that is meant to function honestly, open, transparent, and you have somebody in there actively working against everything that was designed to be built into this system.
Well, also, I don't think people understand how important transparency is for public trust.
And safety,
And safety. Like, that's why Finland is named the happiest place to live on the planet. And places like Denmark. Their governments are incredibly transparent. They feel like they can trust their systems. They feel like, I mean, imagine that. A country where you feel like you can trust everything and you don't feel like you have to be looking over your shoulder or worried about a police officer pulling you over, you know, like you don't really have to worry about those things because everything is super honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
From the system.
When you do the crime, you do the time, and it's transparent and everyone knows about it. That is social and group accountability in itself. And I feel like a lot of times a transparency initiative, something similar to that, where, you know, if you do a crime, the court case is always posted on live TV. That's more of a deterrent than jail time, in my opinion. So there are so many benefits, is where I'm going with this, to presenting crime live. And for whatever reason, most of our judges are running. They're booking it the other direction rather than letting cameras in the courtroom and letting the public in on these things. We need to install GoPros in every single courtroom at every single level and present all of it onto a court website.
Yeah, and I just want to say, I don't know how Finland's justice system works. So you started saying that, and I don't know how their justice system works in that respect when it comes to cameras and things. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
I don't know about cameras.
I can't say how it works over there. I just know what I see from statistics, from, you know, articles written on it, that they feel like their government's super transparent and they can trust them. That's all I know about it. And I think it just speaks volumes, you know. But I don't know how the technicalities are in their justice system. I just want to say that.
Yeah.
It would be a super interesting thing to look into.
Yeah. I'm more worried about our country. I'm not even worried about that country. I just think that if we could have put cameras in all of our courtrooms, it would stop all of this, all of it. That needs to be something that our justice system looks into. We're going into a technological era, and there is no way back. And these things will help prevent this. Will there be hiccups because of it? Sure, there's going to be issues, but is it going to fix more issues than it solves? Do we actually want transparency and real justice, or do our justice systems want power and control over who is free or not? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if you're fighting cameras, I feel like there's a very good possibility it's because you're fighting real justice, not easy justice, because sometimes justice isn't hard. Transparency and truth isn't easy. So
I agree with you 100%.
I'm glad these guys are out.
Yeah, I'm super happy. I mean, it's sad that you had victims who lost their lives and then 3 teenagers who literally lost their lives too, basically. Yeah. I mean, they didn't get to grow up and, like, go to college if they wanted. Or, you know, get married and have children. Like, they missed out on so many things. Like, the 20s and 30s are a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of things happen.
I'm just disgusted how much overwhelming evidence, exculpatory evidence for them, the prosecution, the state, and the judge allowed to be ignored. It is so grossly offensive. Eyewitness, I mean, you have prosecutions like in the Idaho 4 claiming the eyewitness is the biggest deal ever. You know, they hook their entire grand jury on an eyewitness statement or statements. And then you have cases like this where they literally ignored the eyewitness, and we're like, okay, cool, we don't need it. You know what I mean? That is too much power.
Yeah.
How do we have prosecutors like this?
That's why they need to be deposed, and there needs to be like I don't know. That's why transparency is important to me, is to have like these preliminary hearings, not grand juries, where all of it is looked into and unearthed, and the defense can depose officers, different people, and ask them, is this everything?
Yes. Yeah.
Like over and over and over and over. Is this everything?
Yeah.
Is there more?
Right. I agree. And I'm curious what you guys think. Let us know in the comments below. And maybe you could get $16 million.
How? I want $16 million. You're just not going to tell me? I just have to get pinned, framed, a frame up done on me, and spend 30 years in prison.
Yeah.